So there's been a lot of talk online that, being carnivore and versus being plant-based is better than the other, or one is better than the other. Like it's both sides competing against each other. And I believe that, in my opinion, based on my own experience as a plant-based eater for 8 years and now eating carnivore almost for 2 years, I can say that the bioavailability in meat versus the bioavailability in plants are very different. And you're probably asking, what is bioavailability? Bioavailability basically means that your body, when it ingests a certain type of food, the nutrients from that food is either easily ingested and absorbed into the body or it's not. And your body, the way it absorbs certain nutrients can easily take it into the right places in the body, or your body will just digest the food and the nutrients are just floating around in the body and not being utilized. And for me, you guys, like when I was plant-based for 8 years, I did a lot of blood tests to see where I was at because I wanted to do it the healthy way. I took the right supplements, iodine, B12, and the multivitamin, and took 4 blood tests in a span of 8 years. And the last 2 blood tests in the last 3 years of me being plant-based, I saw that, whenever I went to the doctor, they would look at my blood test and they would say, oh, you're always like low in ferritin, which is like a storage for holding iron. And I was always low in that. In response to that, I would eat a lot of spinach and kale. And my doctor would say all the other nutrients in my body are perfect. Like he told me one time, I have like an athlete's body. They were very impressed. And so I was shocked. I was like, but I don't feel well. Like, why don't I feel good? And why are they calling me an athlete when I don't feel like an athlete? Like, aren't they supposed to be energetic? Why do I feel groggy? Why do I feel like I have brain fog? What is happening? Little did I know that, the term bioavailability, I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know that meat had nutrients that my body could easily absorb into my body compared to plants. Plants, I would be eating voluminous amount of plants every day, you guys. I would eat like 2 to 3 smoothies a day. And at that point, I already had gut issues, but I was exacerbating the gut issues with this diet, the plant-based diet. And I was eating like so much sugar, dates. Like I would probably eat 10 dates a day, 7 bananas a day. And I would add a lot of spinach and kale to my smoothies, and I would just chug like probably 3 cups a day down, or 4 cups a day down. And I would think to myself, well, I'm eating so much spinach, I'm eating so much kale, how come I'm not feeling well? And, the blood test was perfect, but when I finally caved in on my 8th year of being plant-based, I had a health coach for so many years, and he was plant-based for 10 years. And when I confided in him about this, I told him, they say my blood tests are great. I don't feel great. What is going on? Like I'm having all these issues in my body. I'm bloated, lethargic, tired. There's something going on in my stomach. My stomach doesn't feel well. And he told me, he's like, and he didn't tell me before, he told me, Nadia, like I've been starting to eat meat and I see a huge difference in my own life. Like I feel better. I feel way more focused. And, I had those issues like you did. And now those issues are almost decreased by a lot because I've been eating the right things in my diet. I've been eating meat again. I was shocked, obviously, as a plant-based eater. I was like, what is happening? Like, are we not going out to eat anymore? Like, you're eating meat again. And I was shocked. And he sent me the right videos, testimonials, doctors talking about the carnivore diet and specifically why meat is more bioavailable than plants. And that's where he explained what bioavailability meant, like what it means, and why eating plants were not good for me. And so I finally caved in. I was like, fine, I'll eat a piece of meat and see how I feel. And so I told myself, if I don't feel well, then it's just one piece of meat and I can go back to being plant-based. And so I bought my steak from Whole Foods, came home, cooked it, baked it, and then ate it. And like as I was eating it, I ate like the fatty parts first. My brain lit up. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing with my life? I feel so good. I feel so amazing. I just felt like something awakened inside of me. And my brain, especially my brain, was like, oh, it was just so happy. And I ate it all, and within 20 minutes I had high energy, and the first time in a long time, I felt so satiated. I felt amazing. And I told that experience to my health coach, and he's like, well, that was your body probably ingesting it and absorbing the nutrients. Nutrients from the meat is way better than eating meat. And he told me, like, the nutrients in meat is way better than the nutrients in plants, because I had the blood test that was correct. It was, except, low in ferritin, but other than that, everything else was phenomenal. It was great. And the low in ferritin wasn't even that much. It was just below average, but by a little bit. And everything else was great, but I didn't feel great. And to me, like, to be taught about bioavailability and why that's important, and why the nutrients in plants are not as effective for me compared to meat was something new to me. And especially knowing about anti-nutrients and oxalates from vegetables and nuts was just like, what? I didn't know about these things, and I wish I was taught that when I was plant-based. I just wish I knew, you guys, and I hope you can avoid this for yourself. I hope this was helpful for you. If you're even currently making those mistakes like me, you can shorten the learning curve and just avoid it right now, right here, right? So try your first piece of steak, guys. If you're vegan, try your first piece of steak and see how you feel. Because if you're someone like me that had issues with their gut, lethargy, tiredness, foggy brain, bloated stomach, you may see a difference in your body. And you may feel better and feel an immediate difference when you eat your first piece of steak. Okay, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. And with that being said, you guys, if you are struggling with pain, overall discomfort, you have a bad memory loss, you have a foggy brain, you can't think efficiently, right? When you talk to people, you can't conversate well either, you feel tired all the time, and most of all, you have a bloated stomach, then you're gonna have to watch my video down below that I created just for you about the 7 mistakes that you are making to not heal your gut. Okay? Have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.